So throughout my time on YouTube, we've spoke about many different situations where after I found out the context of said situation, all I can really think is, this seems a bit unnecessary. And today is no different, because we're going to be taking a look at a video that was posted on TikTok that really should have never had any type of negative reaction, but has somehow resulted in bullying and death threats. Yeah, that's kind of what happens on the internet, I guess. So the TikToker we're talking about today is Julia Mazur. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, by the way. Again, like I just mentioned, all she really posts are very, innocent videos just talking about her life, and one recently went a lot more viral than the rest. And we're going to take a look at this video, but just a bit of a pre-warning, you are going to watch this video and have probably the same reaction as me, which is, how the fuck did this start drama? And you have every right to feel that way.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I am 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15.
I mean, you can already see the vibe of this video, right? She says she's 29 and single, she doesn't have kids or anything, and she's going to do a day in the life. Basically. I mean, fucking hell, she should be jailed.
I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was in bed for so long. And I was just scrolling on my phone, and I saw a picture of shakshuka, and I thought, you know what sounds really good? Maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today.
Yeah, you're probably not gonna believe me when I say this, but the fact that she chose to make shakshuka, as she says in this video, is actually one of the points that people seem to really have a problem with. Apparently this means that she had a miserable day.
Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix.
Right, we don't need to watch the rest of this. You get the point of what this video is. It's just Julia talking about how she spent her Saturday, which was making food. She had got in late from a Beyonce concert yesterday, which sounds like she's having a great time. And yeah, she made food and watched telly. And for some reason, a lot of people seem to have a problem with this. Now, more specifically, a person by the name of Matt Walsh, who I wasn't aware of before I found out this situation, but this is what Google says about him. Matt Walsh is an American right-wing political commentator and activist. And through this, he clearly has a very big following. He has 2.4 million followers on Twitter. And somehow he came across this video, and he was so riled up by it, he decided to repost it to his Twitter page and voice his very negative opinions. Her life doesn't revolve around her family and kids, so instead it revolves around TV shows and pop stars. Worst of all, she's too stupid to realize how depressing this is. If you don't have a family, at least do something interesting with your time. These people have absurd amounts of free time and they do absolutely nothing with it, wasting their lives staring at little glowing boxes. Absolutely soul-crushing. So yeah, straight away, I have quite a few opinions on this. The first one, and probably the biggest one, is, why do you care? A woman posted a video talking about how she made food and watched telly on a Saturday, and for some reason you're annoyed. Also at the end when he says wasting their lives staring at little glowing boxes, absolutely soul-crushing, is very ironic for someone who literally posts videos to YouTube. Like, if you do realise if you want people to watch these videos, they are also going to have to stare at little glowing boxes. Right? And also when he says these people have absurd amounts of free time and they do absolutely nothing with it, is a very strange conclusion, because either you're saying that you should do something in your free time that is fun, she said she went to a Beyonce concert the day before, or you're saying that she should just be working 24/7, which, remember, this is on a Saturday. She could have been working Monday to Friday. It's not abnormal to have a chilled Saturday. Now, because of this tweet, it resulted in Julia getting a lot of hate, and she has made a couple of response videos since, and fortunately enough, a lot of people have stuck up for her as well, because the things that people were saying about her were just bang out of order. It's all fun being single until you're crying alone in your kitchen at 2 a.m. wondering why nobody wants you. She actually looks miserable. This sounds so vapid and empty. What a sad existence she has. Again, just a reminder that these are people who are very riled up over the fact that a stranger decided to watch telly and make food on a Saturday. It's a bit weird, innit? But yeah, obviously I can't go through all the replies here because this tweet has 34.8 million views. You also have other, political commentators throwing their 2 cents in. This one's got, 1.5 million views. It's Candace Owens saying, "This is what was future depression, Xanax, and wine combo nights alone looks like. But hey, the shashuka." Yeah, I'll be honest, I would personally rather spend my Saturday making food and watching telly than going over to Twitter to talk about how I'm annoyed that someone decided to make food and watch telly on a Saturday. God, can you really imagine sitting at home on a weekend, looking at your stupid little glowing box and being annoyed that someone had something to eat? I don't understand it. Obviously, it's not just the food that they're annoyed about. They're obviously annoyed that this woman has decided to not have kids at 29, as if that means she's fucking ancient. And even regardless of her age, if she decided to never have kids, Why do you care? It's not your life. You don't even know her. It's not like she's done something wrong that needs to be called out. It's just she's decided to live her life the way that she wants to live her life and not how Twitter users want her to live her life. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, this actually resulted in Julia getting a lot of hate, some disgusting messages, and this was actually Julia's initial response to the situation.
Hi, my name is Julia and I'm 29 and single. Yesterday, someone named Matt Walsh decided to repost a TikTok video that I posted to his 2.4 million followers on X, formerly known as Twitter. And the way that his followers bullied me in the comments, reached out to me on social media, threatened me, was honestly abhorrent. Some of his followers said that I was gonna die alone. I should actually die and never leave my house. I should be sexually assaulted. I'm pathetic. I'm a whore. And that I was dead behind my eyes. Honestly, that one kind of made me laugh because I use Kosas concealer and I thought that it was working.
At least just making jokes about it, because realistically, this situation is absolutely disgusting. And you know what? I'm just gonna throw a question out there to everybody watching this video. What life do you personally find more depressing? Waking up on a weekend and deciding to have a chill day in, making food, watching telly, or going over to a stranger's TikTok account and telling them to go kill themselves and saying that they're dead behind the eyes and all the other disgusting shit that she said here? I know which one I'd personally pick, but apparently it's a bit more of a hot take than I originally imagined.
These people were really riled up about my choices on a Saturday. But here's the thing about social media. While it can be a really crazy place, which I experienced yesterday, it's a place where there's content for everyone. Here's who I'm creating content for. I'm creating content for people who are taking their time creating the lives that they want for themselves. Because it's the life that they want, not something that society has deemed correct.
Yeah, and by the way, she's doing a great job of that, because the amount of support she's gained in this video from people in a very similar situation is great, which apparently a lot of people on Twitter don't seem to be happy about. But I mean, let's look at the comments. I'm 30, had my tubes removed, and I'm grateful every day that I did. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm 64, wife is 57, and we never wanted kids as we wanted to focus on our creative adventures. You're doing just fine. 59 here, no kids, no marriage, don't listen to the skeptics, they're just jealous. Not all of us ladies wish for the traditional lifestyle. Yeah, it's a crazy concept that we all don't just live the exact same life and do the exact same things, and people actually like to do what they enjoy. It's crazy, isn't it? I just really don't understand where this came from. Like, I personally want kids one day, right? But I would never look at someone who's saying that they don't want to have kids and be like, oh, you are disgusting, how depressing is your life? It literally doesn't make a difference to anyone. There's nothing to be annoyed about. But like I've mentioned, a lot of people have came to Julia's defense. One person in particular is actually Mark Cuban. He first replied to Matt Walsh and said, says the guy whose life revolves around Twitter/X. Yeah, because apparently Matt is allowed to stare at a glowing box, as long as it's handheld, I guess. And from this tweet, Mark gets asked what his advice would be to Julia, and he follows us up, like, brilliantly in my opinion. Thanks for asking, Stephen. 1, I wouldn't give her advice unless she asked. 2, after looking at the comments on her post, I would thank her for offering a place for people who can relate to her, to engage and have a conversation. She replies to the comments, and based on that, people seem to appreciate it. 3, from a business perspective, I would tell her that the wellness space is crowded, but if she does this in addition to her job, she might be able to build a nice business. 4, as far as a family, I would tell her to do whatever she thinks is best for her. It's none of my fucking business. Yeah, I think this point in particular is the biggest one, right? It is no one's business if she wants to have a family or not. Literally doesn't make a difference to you. 5, if I had you both in a room, I would point at her and thank her for trying to bring joy to others, and I would point at you and ask what happened that causes you to hate so much. Seriously, Stephen, why so much hate from you? Yeah, and Julia actually saw these tweets as well as a bunch of other people who have been defending her, and did a follow-up video, like, talking about the aftermath, specifically on the people who were giving her support, and, you know, not the people who were very angry at a dish.
First and foremost, the way that Mark Cuban came to my defense was just incredible. He's nothing short of amazing. If you haven't seen his tweet, please go on his Twitter, and honestly, I hope everyone spams Mark Cuban with just how wonderful he is, because a man coming to my defense in this situation helped so much to change the rhetoric.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Obviously, to Mark Cuban, it is just a tweet. Takes a couple of minutes to, like, write out a tweet, but it really will have, like, such a serious impact. Mark Cuban is obviously incredibly famous, a multi-billionaire. Like, he has a lot of influence, and the fact that he came to this woman's defense is great, because it will make a lot of people more aware of the situation and just how stupid the response has been so far. Also, on top of this, Julia goes on to talk about the fact that she had an interview on Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone, which I never thought I would ever do, and I feel like they did such a good job of telling my story. I was lucky enough to do an interview with NBC News. A reporter named Kat approached me, and I think she did such a wonderful job in telling my story as well.
Okay,
Bravo.
One of the... That's controversial.
Yeah, so that is my exact same reaction. How is this controversial? Like, you might not believe this. Just because Julia has decided to not have kids, and this is how she lives her life, by making food and watching telly on a Saturday, doesn't mean that's the way that you have to live your life. But yeah, either way, that's pretty much the whole situation. I just came across this today, and as I was looking more into it, like I mentioned, my reaction was just always, I don't get why this is such a big deal. Which is the case for a lot of drama that I see on TikTok, but this one was even more unnecessary than a lot of other ones that we've seen previously, and thankfully she's now receiving a lot of support after she got like a ridiculous amount of hate. And yeah, I'm glad the situation had a happy ending, and I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Did you also have clenched fists and steam leaving your ears when you found out that Julia decided to spend her Saturday the way that she wanted to spend it? Or did you have a bit of a similar opinion to me, which is, why does anyone care? Yeah, I would love to know your thoughts. Also, if you did like the video, please leave a like on it, subscribe if you are new, and until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.